pat this guy dry and wipe some of this ooze off of here, just so that my marker adheres better. Now that I've kind of wiped some of the ooze off, you can kind of see right here where the lines are starting to be much easier to see where. I'm gonna go through and trace all of these lines here where I can really easily see. And feel free, you don't have to do like one long continuous line. A sketch is much better. This is just to give you a guide for when you're cutting. Put some little squiggles in the parts that I know I'm going to be cutting out, just for my reference. Start with a bigger area, well, with a smaller area. Like I said, we like to start with the smaller areas first. We're just going to put a hole in each of the eyes so that we have a starting point. And then actually I'm going to put a starting point in all my spots here. We'll do the eyebrows. Do this spot in the nose here. In the mouth, and we're going to start with those small spots. So this guy a little closer, hopefully you can see kind of what I'm doing here. Okay, a small note here that I wanted to talk about. So I've got my mouth cut out, I've got the accent on my nose cut out, I've got my two eyes, my eyebrows, and I'm working on cutting out this part around here for the face. The thing is, the pieces around the nose there are some really small kind of delicate pieces in there. So I've got this part all cut, but you notice when I push on it, it kind of doesn't want to go in all the way. So in that case, what I did and what I like to do, and by the way, guys, I mean, I carve pumpkins with my boys every year. I am hardly an expert. I'm sure you can probably find some videos online from someone who has more expertise than I do. But what I like to do is cut it into smaller sections. So I cut a little slice through here and go over the line a few times just to widen it a little bit until I can get that piece out. And then just do one little piece at a time like that. Just if we try to shove the whole thing or break the whole thing out at once, we are highly likely to rip these small pieces and end up taking the whole chunk out, and then you've ruined your pumpkin. So this is definitely not a spot to rush. Again, just take your time, enjoy the process, put on some good music, you know, get yourself a tea or a coffee or whatever soda you like to drink, whatever, maybe something harder. Depending on if that's going to steady your nerves or make you more reckless. But yeah, just take your time on these parts and cut it into smaller sections and try to get those out without damaging these small pieces in here. carved out. You can see my nose got a little wonky there, but you know what? I could probably shave off that little bit, but I'm kind of concerned. You can see that's not a really thick piece there, so I think I'm gonna leave it. But he's all done. Got the top back in. And here we go. It's still daytime, so I can't put him outside, but I found a dark spot in the hallway. And look at that. So the thing is, once you get him cut, all the imperfections don't matter quite as much. Because you can see how you're just gonna see the outlines. So it does not have to be perfect. It is still adorable, even though he has lots of perfect imperfections in there. Also, last thing, I do recommend using LED candles, not fire. Fire creates a hazard in a lot of ways. And you can see in there, I put a little glass dish or a little glass candle holder, just to keep my LED candle out of the muck on the bottom there. So here he is from a little further away. All right.